Hey guys, Chris Cooper here, and today we're going to talk about the feedback trap. And this is why we don't do surveys at Two Brain and why we recommend that you don't do surveys at your gym either. This is kind of a higher level video, but it's for those of you in the farmer phase of gym ownership where your gym has expanded beyond your immediate influence and you're not having daily conversations with every customer anymore. You're not sure how your other coaches or staff are doing. You're not sure if people like you. And so you feel a little bit of insecurity and you think, hey, I need to do a survey. Today I'm going to tell you why that's a bad idea and why you should do instead. If you like this video, hit subscribe or like or just leave a comment below and we'll make more like them for you. So this is what we call the feedback trap. And a lot of us think like, okay, I need to ask my clients how I'm doing because we think that we're mostly going to get praise, but also people are going to give us really valuable feedback. And while they might sometimes actually give us valuable feedback or stop us from making a bigger mistake, 99% of the time that doesn't happen. So let's look at the pros and cons of asking your clients for feedback. Pros, they might make you feel good, right? They might say, everything is perfect, Chris. Don't change a thing. That might even turn into a testimonial or a Google review or a Facebook star, right? And that's what we're kind of hoping for. But that very rarely happens. In fact, when you ask your biggest fans for feedback, you're asking caring, thoughtful, smart people for ideas, and they're going to give you ideas. Unfortunately, when they do give you those ideas, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, they're going to think really, really hard about one thing they would improve because they're thoughtful and they care about you. And so they're thinking, wow, Chris just asked me how he could improve his business. Let me think about that for a moment, right? So they actually think about something they would improve. Now, they could be perfectly happy. They could be thrilled. They could love you. But the more they love you, the harder they're going to think about something they would improve. So they would say like, well, what if we had 24/7 access to the gym? These are not people who are thinking like, I need to have 24/7 access to the gym or I'm going to quit. They're not thinking like, I have to quit if I can't come in at midnight. They're trying to find something wrong so that they can report to you and feel validated and feel important and feel like they are important to you. Okay. So the first thing is they're going to tell you something that maybe isn't actually as important. It's not do or die, but you will be unable to tell how important that is. All you can see is this important or not? There's no scale of importance, right? So you're going to get this feedback that we need 24/7 access to the gym. When you get that feedback, you are a problem solver and you're going to want to try and solve that problem. So you're going to go research, geez, should I do this 24/7 access to the gym? But the client giving you the feedback doesn't have context on your plan. They don't know why you are a coaching gym. They don't understand how selling access actually devalues your product. They don't understand that like doing more will cost you time, energy, and money. Okay. All they know is that you asked them for help and they think that they're giving it. There's two ways this could go. Number one, you do the thing that they ask for. Hey, that's a good idea. And 3 people said they want 24/7 access to the gym. I'm going to do it. Okay. The other thing that could happen is that you don't do it. Okay. Now, let's say that you do it. You take their advice. What typically happens is this, you heard this from a couple of people. And so you think like, wow, maybe if one person said it, 10 people must be thinking it. So that's 30 people who want this thing, 24/7 hour access. So you invest $3,000 in the system or whatever it is. You upgrade your insurance, you write SOPs, and of course it takes on all this other stress, right? It's not a hands-off system. Somebody still has to like clean up and somebody has to sanitize and somebody has to like patrol the videos. And, someday somebody's wallet's going to disappear and somebody's going to leave a mess for the 6 a.m. coach to clean up. And there's all these other things. So you do it, okay? And of course, there are costs. And of course, that takes away from your core product. And maybe you shouldn't have done it, but you asked this person for feedback and they gave you the feedback, so you think you should do it. And you go running down the wrong road. The other thing that could happen is that you don't do it. You don't take their feedback, and they're going to say, hey, Chris asked me for my advice. I thought the advice that I was giving Chris was important. He didn't do it. Maybe my advice isn't that important. Why did he ask me if he wasn't going to do it? Right. So I'm just kind of turned off. And if you do this twice, they're not going to respond the third time, and they're going to feel like their opinion is not important. So it is very, very hard to win with a survey, and it's very easy to lose with a survey. Okay. If you solicit feedback from people, you're going to get feedback. All right. You might also hear like, we love your gym, everything is perfect, don't change a thing. But that doesn't help you either. Unless you pursue that person and get an actual written testimonial that you're going to use on Google and Facebook, it might make you feel good, but our brains are wired to pay way, way, way more attention to this stuff, right? If you hear 100 compliments and one negative thing, what does your brain dwell on? It's that negative thing. And so even if you get suggestions, even if you get feedback that's positive, you're going to pay attention to the negative thing. And because you're a problem solver, you're going to think, I need to solve this, even if you don't. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean we turn a blind ear, that we don't listen to our clients. Okay. But you need to understand that like this feedback, a lot of the time is just fabricated. It might not be important. And you've put yourself in this position where now you have to solve the problem, either because of your own brain or because now you've asked the client for suggestions. What you should actually do instead is what we call seed client interviews. What you want to do is identify your best clients, and you want to take them for coffee, and you want to ask them a series of questions on the spot. The reason that you do this in person instead of through an email or a text or a survey is because you want their spur of the moment answer. You don't want to give them time to think about their answer. If you say, hey, what can we improve? And they say, nothing comes to mind right now, then that's the answer. If you say, what can we improve? And they take 3 days to think about it, they're going to think of something, right? Even if it's not important, as I addressed earlier. These seed client interviews come from something called The Pumpkin Plan, okay, by Mike McCallow. It's super important. We actually teach it in our programs, but you can read the book if you don't know what I'm talking about, or you can read our videos on the topic or whatever. It's in several of my books too, okay, The Pumpkin Plan. And what this will give you is an idea of what your most valuable and your best clients care about. This is the feedback that you want. So if your best clients are all saying, hey, Chris, honestly, I'm telling you, we need more personal training, or I'm telling you, that's not a good coach. These are the people that you want to listen to, right? You don't just want to create an opportunity for the squeakiest wheels to speak up. All right. So now that leads me back to this. When you do a survey, the people that you're most likely to hear from are the people who have a problem. And when you do, especially an anonymous survey, you're going to try and guess who's having the problem. You're going to also try and guess like, how big of a problem is this? And is this a problem that's coming from my best clients, or is it coming from the people who are probably going to leave anyway? A great example of this that I hear all the time is like clients giving the gym owner the feedback, hey, you'd have more customers if you just dropped your prices a little bit. This advice is coming from people who have never been on your side of the buying equation, right? They've only experienced buying as a purchaser. They are not in a position to give you advice. They don't have context over what you're making or what it costs to actually run the gym. They don't understand why you set your prices the way that they do. And they think that you want more customers, which is not always the case. Also, if you adjust your prices downward, that has an effect across every single customer, and you might create problems that you didn't have before that are far greater than the complaints of this one customer. Finally, following that customer's advice will actually set you up to fail long term. But they don't understand that. And so if you start listening to their advice and saying, thank you, we're going to really think about lowering our price, you might be satisfying them in the short term, but they're the wrong person to satisfy because they're a price hunter and they're going to go elsewhere anyway, and creating bigger problems for yourself in the long term. Creating a survey probably won't get you any further in your business. It probably won't help you, but it will almost certainly hurt you. And so soliciting feedback broadly like this, how can we improve? How would you improve our service? Do you have any feedback for me? Will probably only hurt your business, and that's why we don't do it.